The city of Corpus Christi postponing the vote on new pet ordinances proposed by Animal Care Services. The reason behind the delay is to review the updates thoroughly. The purpose of the proposals are to better protect pets, pet owners, and the general public. 3 News caught up with Joel Skidmore of Animal Care Services today. He says it's been almost 7 years since animal care ordinances have been revised. One of the big ones council will vote on is the requirement of pets to be implanted with a microchip. This way, if there's a pet that runs away from home, the city will be able to locate where they belong. Another big one that Skidmore mentioned is addressing aggressive dogs. If revisions move forward, it would allow ACS to hold a pet owner accountable for their dog's actions. He says the goal is safety and getting pets off the streets.
Corpus is growing, and we need to make sure that the laws governing the ownership of the animals and the welfare of the animals grow to coincide with the good and the needs of the community.
A word on when the city council will review the updated ordinance has not been made public.